Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to one more session or episode or whatever you want to call it of Torch Tales. Short Tales? Torch Tales? See what I did there? Huh? Anyway, so here we are in beautiful Pennsylvania, and I'm very grateful. I'm very lucky to have a good friend that we've met through social media, and that's one of those things where social media does play a part, and sometimes it could work for the right reasons. And here I am with Jonnysweld, AKA Arts by Jonny.
Yeah.
Right? He's very big into Instagram and social media as a whole. And when he knew that I was going to be in the area, he said, hey, you're going to be about maybe 25 minutes, half hour from where I'm at. So we started communicating. I'm like, oh, great. Can I please just come by and maybe talk to you a little bit, and you can help me on this crazy idea that I have of talking to friends in the industry for 30 minutes, whatever. Who knows? There's no script. This can go left or right. Mm-hmm. So don't judge me. Don't start counting arms or pauses or whatever, right? Because, again, we are welders, and what do we know? So, Jonny, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
We just had lunch, which this is why I look like I gained an extra 3 or 4 pounds. So, Jonny, tell me a little bit about yourself, because like I told you before, I don't want to talk just about, oh, you can weld this, you can do that. I want to talk about your history, your road, your path into the industry as a whole. So, where is Jonny from?
So I'm originally from California.
All right.
So born and raised.
Really?
Yeah, born and raised there.
What part?
Orange County.
Orange County.
So just south of LA a little bit.
So is the rest of your families from there as well?
Yeah, a lot of families from there.
Really? So here you are, California, and you left California for PA?
To come here, in Canonsburg.
Straight, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why the change? What happened?
Combination of things.
All right.
Just getting older. I was getting married at the time, and we wanted to move out of state.
Really?
Didn't really know at the time where we wanted to move. We just knew we wanted to move.
So how come you guys picked here? And where are we to begin with?
Oh, we're in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. So we're south of Pittsburgh, 30, 40 minutes.
Yes, correct. So why here? What made it?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask that.
Yeah.
Why? It's random. My mom is from originally this area-ish, like the Pittsburgh area.
Oh, okay.
So I have some family here as well. So it made it an easy transition to just try something new. We had family here, so we can kind of stay with a few people when we first moved here and kind of get our feet,
All right.
feet wet a little bit.
So I met your kids earlier, and they just started summer school.
Summer just started
Well,
today.
summer vacation. So your kids were born here.
Yes, they were.
Have they ever been to California?
They have, a couple
Really?
times, yeah.
Do they like it there?
They do.
More than here?
They like going because probably because there's a pool there, and they get to eat candy the whole time.
Well,
it's vacation.
There you go. Were you into welding when you were in California?
No, not even close.
No, so you are somewhat new compared to some of the people that we've known in the industry.
Absolutely. So I've always been interested in welding.
Did you take it in school?
Nope,
That was
nothing.
You were never exposed to it before.
Prior to starting, no.
Really?
No. I've seen people welding. You'll be driving by and you might see a spark coming from a garage,
Right.
similar to my garage.
That looks kind of cool.
like, oh, what's going on there? Or
By the way, sorry that I interrupt, but we are in Jonny's garage. This is where he does most of his work, and I've seen it before through his social platforms. So I'm very honored to be here because it's as blue collar as you get, and this is what this is all about. So thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So anyway, so you've seen the spark driving by.
yeah, or it's in movies. A clip of someone working on a spaceship or something, welding in the background. That always intrigued me, but never enough to pursue it.
How come you got exposed? What happened that you got exposed and you said, oh, I might be good at this, I can do this?
So I don't remember an actual point where
or you were just broke and like, I need to make money and
It wasn't, I wasn't even thinking about the money at the
Really?
time. I had a job that was paying well.
Okay.
I wasn't doing anything I really enjoyed. I was making money, I was working, but I wasn't happy.
Gotcha.
Like
millions of people out there, right?
yeah, very typical.
Yeah.
And one day I just bought a welder. No planning, no.
All right, so what was the first welder you bought?
So it was a Forney Industries, a little flux core 110 welder. So I just plugged it into the wall. I didn't have 220 at the time.
So did you start looking at YouTube and kind of, this is how I...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and there's only so much I could have learned before I had the machine. I was watching videos and then I kind of lost, I didn't understand exactly what was going on because I've never welded before.
Gotcha.
So I can only follow so much information.
Of course, yeah.
And so when I first got my machine, I brought it back, had my little welding hood from Amazon. Nothing fancy.
Like most of us,
just
right?
starting with that. And actually, I got it all set up. I turned it on. I did my first weld, and it like crackled, and it was loud, and it was bright, and it scared me. Like it actually scared me. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm in.
Babe, the house on fire. Yeah. Do we have insurance?
Yeah. From that point forward, I was hooked.
Really? So how long ago was this?
That was in 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
So yeah, then again, I go back to what I said, when it comes to the industry, he's relatively new into it, but you do an amazing job on social media and promoting what you do, others, and stuff like that you've shared so far. And that's kind of how we met. I know you attended FabTech last year.
Yeah.
Which it was the first time ever?
That was my third time.
All right. So he came by the booth, the Jonnysweld booth, and we had a game going on, and he played, and then he posted something on his stories. He had fun, and I think you won something there.
I won a torch.
Yeah. There you go, a hand torch. I think it was our. There you go. This is a free plug. I didn't plan this. It just happens that
this is in
he
my
had
shop.
it right there. Yeah.
I use this on a daily basis.
Again, I'll pay him after the show, but yeah. So I know you posted that, and then you reached out, and we started communicating, and it's cool because it's been a great relationship, and I tell you why. Jonny's very not selfish whatsoever. He's shared some things that were happening in the industry that I got involved with, just because he let me know that they were happening. One of them was an event in Tampa, which the event itself, it was. It is what it is. It was called Ink the Bay. And that was the first thing that he shared and said, hey, there's this thing happening in your area. You might want to check it out, which I did. And I saw a lot of friends there. And so it was a great time, again, being around my friends, that it's a very close niche. It could be better. We'll see what happens in the future with that event. And then we kept communicating and so on. And he started following me on my personal Instagram, Traveling Frank, and every once in a while he would like it and say, hey, you should blog about your travels, because I'm lucky enough that I've been exposed to a lot of places because of this industry. But going back to, by the way, he also, like I said, I go all over the place. He also reached out the other day and said, hey Frank, you should check this guy out, Menard Metal Craft. A guy that does amazing work with fire, with torches.
Simple.
Yeah, very simple, but the guy, it's amazing. And he has a big following, and he has videos that are, into the millions of viewers. It's amazing. And he goes, Frank, maybe you can check him out, and maybe you guys can collab and do something together, which I did. And I sent him some stuff, and he did some amazing videos. So I thank you again for that connection. That this is what this is all about. So going back to you, so here we are, 2016. You buy your first welder, and when did you start making money? And you go, oh, maybe this is what's going to pay the bills.
That was, it slowly evolved.
Of course,
it didn't just, there wasn't just I can do this.
So you were still doing it just for you?
I started out just doing it for me.
Okay.
I made little robots. I just kind of put pieces together.
Okay.
So I started out as scrap art.
Gotcha.
Whatever pieces I had lying around, nothing to do, like this was not my shop.
Correct.
It's still garage.
Yeah.
I just had little piles of metal.
Yeah.
And just started kind of putting some stuff together. I'd make like a little robot. I'm like, oh wow, I made a robot. How cool is that? And then it kind of progressed to that too. Neighbor will drive by, be like, hey, could you fix this for me real quick? Yeah, all right, I'll fix it. Something really easy.
Yeah.
And then it kind of progressed from there. But meanwhile, I'm working full time.
Gotcha.
And I actually decided somewhere in there to get take a weld test.
All right.
Do a 1-inch plate, unlimited thickness. What? 3G? 3?
Probably 3.
3G, I forget now. It's been so long. There's so much stuff now in the numbers. But so I passed my test. I took it on my own. I didn't go to school or anything. I just practiced here. I got like an old stick welder, and I just practiced. Every morning I would wake up, 4 or 5 a.m. I would weld until I went to work. I'd go to work, I'd come home, I'd try to weld some more. I'm literally just rod after rod, just burn up. And I passed. I passed my weld test.
Well, there you go. And talking about building things, I want to showcase the one that we have right here next to him. You want to show that to the guys?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this.
So this is a robot I'm building, or I built for Everlast Welders.
Yep.
Get that in there. So yeah, I made a base. I designed the base to get that cut out.
Gotcha.
And then the robot was a reflection of what I made at FabTech last year. I had an hour at the Everlast booth. I'm working with Everlast and edge welding cups. I had an hour to build something. And the owner of Everlast liked my work, and he's like, hey, can you make one for me? And this is what I'm making for him. So, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. You know, it's definitely, I saw it on your Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that is awesome.
Right, yeah. This is what I love making. If I could do this full time, I'm in.
Right? Who wouldn't be?
You're right.
How did you make the transition into, well, first of all, let me go back. Have you always been into social media?
Yes.
So even before you were into welding?
Yeah, way before. Yeah. So when I lived in California, I co-owned a screen printing business with my brother.
Okay.
So we did screen printing, and then we also at the same time started a music magazine.
Gotcha.
So screen printing, music magazine, they kind of went hand in hand because we printed shirts for a lot of bands.
Gotcha.
We would do interviews with them. It worked out really well.
Okay.
But we were really big on MySpace. So that was
I haven't heard that one in a while. MySpace. I'm not sure if he's dating himself, but hey, you know.
It worked. I'm going to say we probably got about 80 to 90% of our business from MySpace, just reaching out because the people nowadays who spam all the time, that wasn't there.
Yeah.
So like a 1 to 2 ratio of messages that we would send to bands would get an order.
Really?
Yeah. It was insane because we were like ahead of the curve on that.
And you play too, right?
I do. I play drums.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, because, you know, he showed me when I first came, he's like, hey, we just turned, you know, my living room into a music room. I'm like, been there, done that, you know. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So you understood social media and the power that it has to promote yourself, your business, whatever it is. And you start now, you create your own platforms for Jonnyweld's, Jonny by Art, you know, Arch by Jonny.
Yep.
How do you see that working for you versus how it used to work in the music or screening business?
Way different.
Yeah?
It's changed. The platforms have changed completely.
Correct, of course.
So and then what you can do with them have all changed.
Yes.
A lot more things nowadays like collaborating, sharing posts. Like that stuff is more evolving. Yeah. Instead of being so single, like this is just my page and that's your page. Now it's starting to morph together a lot more.
Do you think there's got to be a balance on how you go about social media? Meaning, so here you are promoting yourself, and at some point, do you want to post everything you do? Is that kind of like the way it should be done? Do you keep some stuff private, or what's your thoughts around that?
At first, I posted everything, good, the bad, everything, and then I'm okay with posting bad work.
Yeah, correct.
Like, I mess up all the time. It's going to happen.
Shit, this sucks. Looks like crap. Yeah,
it is, and I'll share it. Yeah, you know, I won't share every.
Hey, you got to be honest. You know, that's the only way.
Not every weld is going to be the best, but
there you go.
They all hold, or most of them hold.
Well,
At least I think.
Yeah. So definitely
So now I'm starting to I have projects that I work on that I take pictures of, but then I don't post.
Gotcha.
I just either I'm too busy or I'm just on to the next thing, and I'm like, you know what, I'll do it later, or I'm just no one needs to know that I made that. You know.
Gotcha.
Especially like some art pieces that I'll make. I won't even post them. I'll just put them up on my online store, and then.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right, because you do have an online store, which is.
I do, yeah. It's just jonnysweld.com.
Really? So everything you make, so you always try to have, well, is it by piece, or you make enough stuff to always have some sort of inventory and ready to?
So I have actual inventory of stuff I made.
You do, okay.
And then I'll do commission work like this.
Gotcha. The garage here. When you guys moved here, were you guys parking cars here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you had to tell your wife, hey, I'm going to turn this place into my man cave.
Pretty much.
Yeah. How did that go?
Once again, it evolved into that. It wasn't a solid thing. I started out kind of where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
The garage door is literally on the other end of the camera. It's pretty small.
Correct.
That was my little weld area.
Yeah.
So from here back was all bikes and stuff and whatever else we had.
Yeah.
And every year, 2017 took over more, 2018, and then 2019. So we're only talking a short period of time.
COVID.
I started working for myself full time.
Really?
Yeah.
So now, of course, he has to tell the wife, hey, I got to get more than 5 feet of.
Yeah, I need more than 5 feet.
Yeah. So can we park the car outside? And I guess it worked out.
It did. It was an interesting time to start a business. It's right around COVID. So I had this big plan. I had advertising. I had everything planned.
Really?
And then it just shut down. I quit my job. I like everything. I like everything invested into it, and it just like fell apart. And I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do?
Well, that's why sometimes you got to stick to your guns and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and here you are. You're proof of that. You stick to it. It'll work in the long run.
Yeah.
So here we are, PA. Is there a lot of you guys out here? And I asked you this before. Do you feel that you have competition? Is there enough work for everyone? Commission work, arch work, repair work, whatever.
Yeah.
How do you see that?
There's a good handful of welders around
Okay.
here. I'm going to say there's probably 10 that I can drive to within like an hour.
Okay.
An hour of here. There's plenty of work.
Really?
I think we're all busy. Yeah. There's
what when you say plenty of work, what kind of work? Like what are they calling you for?
So for me,
I can't answer about the others, but
so a lot of the others, just throwing it out there, is a lot of like gas and oil stuff.
okay.
So those guys, the reason there's a lot of welders around, but they're all busy. They're all busy doing that kind of stuff.
I see.
And the stuff that I get is a little bit more of like the smaller repairs.
Okay.
Look like bar stools we're sitting on, someone breaks the leg on it, I'll weld those up.
Gotcha.
I just got a lot of those return customers, and for some reason they happen to find me, and I accept.
Yeah, I was going to say. So how do they find you? How do you promote your business? How do they know? Oh, there's that guy, Johnny.
Yeah.
Let me go call him.
It's as simple as just being on Google. That's it. Really, I mean, I do all the social media stuff to try to get to where I'm at.
Correct.
And that is good for building like relationships with people. But as far as just getting people that need welding done, really, it's just, as long as you're kind of high up on Google.
So you set your business on Google.
Yeah.
You got your. Of course, you also probably asking people, hey, give me a rating. Because that does help. Believe it or not, you can be shy about telling someone, hey, if you like my work, can you rate me, give me 5 stars.
Yeah.
Even if you hate my work, give me 5 stars.
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
And those reviews go a long way for a small business.
They do.
In any industry, welding or food or anything,
Any industry.
It can make a business.
I know. I've seen that firsthand for a handful of businesses that I deal with. You mentioned you've been you've gone to FabTech 3 times. So you always go trying to look for what? What is it that you're trying to get out of FabTech?
Every year is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first year was buying equipment.
All right.
I had like a couple $1,000 budget.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I can
let me go
buy
see
this,
what I can
buy
find.
that, and I did. I bought a couple things.
All right.
Couple small things, but stuff I needed here at the shop.
Correct.
The second year was also to buy stuff, and that was also, once I understood how FabTech worked, was to more network. To buy stuff and network was a big important thing to me. And this last year, so the last year was my 3rd time going, was in Atlanta,
Correct.
Georgia. And then I went there for those 2 reasons as well, but also with Edge Welding Supply.
Gotcha.
I'm part of they have an Edge Army, which is like their team of welders, and I'm on their team. So then I was going out for a whole different purpose. I had a weld demo. I had like a 1-hour weld session with Everlast Welders.
Yeah.
I had a meet and greet there at the booth, and I also helped them at the booth.
Yeah.
Along with all the other team
Correct,
members
of course,
who came. So it changed the whole dynamic of going. I wasn't just an attendee anymore. I was actually involved in the show.
Yeah.
A lot more than I have ever been.
And so the first time that you go to FabTech, which I'm assuming 17, 18?
It was right around COVID, so they stopped one. It was right before COVID. I'm sorry, it was right before COVID.
So it should have been a good attendance,
was
right
great.
before COVID. What was your take? Was it overwhelming? Because it could be.
I went.
If you don't know what you're going for.
I went for all 4 days.
Oh, really?
So I knew if I'm driving up there, I'm staying as long as I can.
You drove?
Yeah.
All right, got it. And
it was amazing.
It is. For those, I mean, whoever's watching this is probably in the industry, and definitely FabTech is one of those things where it's, you name it, whatever you can think of, an industrial side of welding, cobalts. It doesn't matter. It's there.
It's everything.
You'll find something. How old are your kids?
10 and 8.
And you're married. Your wife is working. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Are they ever into that? What are you doing? Show me how to put 2 metals together.
Not really.
No.
I've tried to show them some things here and there. Like, hey, like my son built a robot.
Oh, yeah?
We went to the store or hardware store, and we bought like nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
And then we came back. So I let him build it at the store, like how he would want them all laid out.
Yeah.
And then brought them back here and tack welded them all together.
Yeah.
So it was fun. And then after that, not really any interest.
That was
cool.
as far as you got.
That's it. Yeah.
And so how do you I see that you have pretty much the shop. He has everything that a welder could need and plus some. So you were accumulating all these things, and some of the stuff I'm assuming you built yourself.
Some of them, yeah.
Kind of,
some I just acquired.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people in my neighborhood. So all my neighbors and kind of the community knows that I do welding.
All right.
So I'll get drop-offs.
I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah, they all know. Yeah. They all know me. I get drop-offs like outside of my door. There's a pile of metal.
Yeah.
I'll just come home one day and it's just sitting there.
Really?
Yeah. Which is amazing.
Well, of course, right? That's hey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Now that you mentioned metal, I know you just did. It's called Scrap Fest.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little about what that is, because I saw a few of your posts. I'm like, holy shit, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know anything about it until now, and I want to know more.
So it's a lot.
All right.
For an artist on the let me start over.
Yeah.
It starts out. There's a lot to it. It starts out on collection day. So this year I believe there's 30 artists.
So they open the door at a scrapyard or something.
Open the door at a scrapyard
for a set time, right?
You have 1 hour to collect your material. So
what are the rules?
So the rules are 2 people per team can collect.
All right.
So if I have a team of, let's say, 5 people, only 2 at a time can be in there.
Gotcha.
So they have to like tag team out,
Yeah.
That person in.
It's like wrestling.
Yeah, just. And then you have 1 hour to collect your material. And so the scrapyard actually, they kind of like level out the piles.
Okay.
So you're not climbing.
Oh, gotcha. I see.
They spread out
kind of
the whole
safety,
yard.
a little bit of safety involved. Yeah.
Yeah, but they make it a little easier. They clear paths and stuff like that. So we're all just walking there. You fill a cart and you dump it in your bin, and then for the large piece category, you can get 500 pounds, up to 500 pounds, and then the small is 250 pounds.
So at first you're kind of guessing how much you have on the cart, and then if you go and you went over the limit, you gotta
get it out. You have 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So you have 1 hour to collect.
Okay.
Then when they weigh it, if you're over, you have 10 minutes to
now go through the pieces and kind of keep whatever you. Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
I need this.
Yeah. It's like what am I willing to give up, right?
So I put the stuff that I knew that from last year. So I put the stuff I knew I didn't necessarily need on top. So if we were over, I could just chuck them off real quick and be done.
Hey, there you go.
So it's like a supermarket sweep. You ever see that?
Okay. Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah.
So how long has this been going on? It's
10 years.
And this is your...
This is my second time.
Your second time. And I know you collab with someone this time around, right?
My friend Mike Beaver, or you guys look him up as Beav's Fab Lab on Instagram.
Cool. And how long did it take you to build whatever you guys built, which he'll be posting it on his platforms, and we'll show the links so you guys can follow him and see what amazing things these guys do. So when is that happening?
1 month. So you have 1 month to build your sculpture, whatever you're gonna build. From the time you have collection day
gotcha, okay.
to then you have to drop it off a month later.
Really? Aside from you can only get 250 pounds or whatever, can you build whatever? Is there more guidelines, or is like...
So there's the guideline is only the size.
All right.
So this year was 6 by 6 by 10 feet tall. So it had to fit in that area, but you can build whatever you wanted. Now, something I forgot to mention is you're only allowed to use what you collect from the scrapyard.
So how do they know that? Do they take a picture? Like, if somebody's cheating and say, I'm going to use this one wrench, nice and shiny, and it's going to be my antenna for whatever,
I don't know if people do that. I stick to it because the challenge is for me to build with only what I got from a scrapyard.
Of course, I'm probably the only one that's saying that because, I'm thinking outside the box. I'm like,
So there's many times that I just needed something to connect 2 pieces together or something. And, oh man, I have so much stuff flying around.
Correct,
but instead, I stop. I'll take a piece that I have and I'll make the piece that I have from the scrapyard. I'll make it what I need.
Gotcha.
So it changes the whole dynamic of what we're making.
All right, makes sense.
You have to make it work. You have to bring your vision to life with what you get.
There you go. I get it. Kudos. So now you're gonna. So you guys gotta drop it off where? What happened? So you build it. Now you go.
So we build it. We dropped it off, and then it sits in a warehouse. Actually, this year it sits in an art gallery.
All right.
For 1 month. So they'll take it. They'll photograph and videotape each one.
Gotcha.
And then post it onto a website where you can do like early bidding on it and stuff like that.
Now, is there some sort of a voting system? Is anyone? Oh, you win this or you win that or
absolutely.
Best whatever.
First, second, and third, and then people's choice.
Really?
In both categories. So Right now, we haven't even talked about the event yet. This is just the artist back end side to get these art pieces there at the event.
Gotcha.
So the drop off is just to drop it off and have it be photographed, viewed, and they know it's there. So no one's dropping off or saying, can't make it. You know, they're there. So then, the month later, so in July, I don't know when this is going to air, but July, I believe it's 14th and 15th in Lansing, Michigan, they close down the streets and they actually have all the art pieces displayed on the streets.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost positive this is going to air before July.
Okay, if it does, then.
I think I should, right? Anyways, because of my travels, like I was telling Jonny earlier, I'm going to have a few interviews before I start posting, just in case I run into a hell of a month and I can't do anything. I have enough content backed up to cover me, because the idea is to do one per week, which it might be challenging. We'll see. Again, if you don't see one of those weeks, again, don't judge me. This is a hobby. This is free. Calm down. It's all good. There will be more.
There will be more.
All right. So now you've done the Scrap Fest twice.
Yes.
And I think you told me earlier that you would definitely do it again.
Oh, yeah.
What's the thrill? Like, what's the most exciting thing? It's the seeing what you can find at the scrapyard, or trying to build already, or you're already going there. This is what we're going to build.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to need A, B, and C. How does that?
I've said this a handful of times. Every part is my favorite part when I'm doing it. If that makes sense. Every part is my favorite part.
Yeah.
I'm in it, so the collection day, when I'm there, I'm like, this is my favorite part of Scrap Fest. It's collection day. This is the best.
Yeah.
And then when we go to drop off, and all the other artists, it's just artists dropping off at the same time.
Gotcha.
So there's no there's not a crowd. It's just 40, 50 people all in one room dropping off their art pieces. And we're all just talking about, we're not distracted. We're just talking about the art pieces. So when I'm there, that's my favorite part.
Gotcha.
And then the actual event, of course, when I'm there, I'm like, this is my favorite part.
So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
As an artist, it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done and probably will ever do as an artist making art, and the whole experience altogether.
And when you talk about making art, when did you realize that you could sell these things? Did you see somebody else, they're making money out of that? Or because, we always get influenced by someone. We get ideas. I do it all the time. In fact, part of the reason, and I've always been into content, and but I used to do everything for me. It would stay in my phone cameras, and nobody would ever, see the damn thing. Yeah. And because of friends like Jason Becker with his podcast, and Art Junkies, by the way, which you guys should check it out, and many other people out there, I kind of went for it. So it is what it is. What happened when you realize, not only am I going to make money doing repairs or doing whatever commission work, I'm going to sell art? How?
I think it's just seeing other people doing it.
Yeah.
Instagram was a huge influence on that, on me in welding, and then seeing art, and then realizing people are doing this for a living, selling weld art. Started out just posting one thing, maybe I created an Etsy page, post one thing on there, it sold. I'm like, oh wow.
Huh.
Maybe I'll make a couple more, sold, selling, kind of slowly grew to kind of where I'm at now. Now, I don't sell like a ton of art pieces, but it's consistent.
Of course, it's, where do you want to see yourself in next year, a couple of years from now? Like, what's the end goal, or you just kind of going 1 month at a time?
End goal is definitely just doing art full time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I could do 90% art, 10% helping people weld some stuff, that would be a great mix.
And do you see making art and showcasing them at somewhere else, or like having maybe your own gallery, or how do you see that 90% art?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, if you guys know him, Frank Ledbetter.
Yeah.
He was on Metal Shop Mastering.
Correct.
Like yeah. He, from what I understand, he has a property with a house, a shop, and an art gallery all in one.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
As soon as I learned that someone was doing that, and I probably never even thought of that as an option.
Yeah.
I was like, I could have my shop and my art gallery and my house all in the same, even just the same area.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to work.
So and then I'm gonna go hang out in the
right. Yeah. Now I gotta go clean. Yeah.
That I think changed my perspective. That was a goal, like a reachable goal that I could actually hit. So that's something that I would like to pursue, something along that line.
Yeah.
You know, where I have my own art gallery. I don't have to drive 2 hours to get to, or anything like that. And then I have a shop still, you know, and I can have all of it. It's there. I mean, I just got to work my way up to it.
No, definitely. And, you know, the cool thing is, you know, having a goal and having, you know, something, you know, looking forward to something is definitely going to drive you. And I think, you know, you're doing the right things, you know, with social media, you know, Fab Tech, you know, scrap yards and, you know, arts, scrap fest. I think, you know, you are definitely moving in the right direction. And I follow him and I'm always watching everything he does. And definitely I'm impressed, especially knowing that you've only been at it for, you know, not as long as many others have been. And kudos to you.
Thank you.
How did you come about getting or working with Everlast or Edge, you know, becoming part of their Edge Army, how they call it?
Yeah.
Did you reach out? Did they reach out?
Typically, I hear of people reaching out to the companies to try to get them on board. Luckily, I've worked with them prior to being on the Edge Army for Edge welding cups, and they eventually asked me to be on there. But we had been doing some things prior to that, so we kind of built like a relationship prior to them asking. And I've been to their shop, I've met them. Prior to all that, I've made it a point. I was in where are they at? North Carolina. I was in Mooresville, North Carolina. That's where they're from. And I happened to make it a point. I'm going to stop in, meet them, and then just kind of evolved from there. And then they asked me to join, and it's been great ever since.
Cool, cool, awesome. Well, guys, again, you know, this is what this is all about. You know, just having great conversations with friends in the industry. Hopefully you guys learned something and about their path. You know, it's not about how did I do that? How did I weld that? How did I put that together? You know, it's more of how you got here. And whether it's the lone 510, is it 510 California Highway? I can't remember which
510, one. The 101?
Yeah, the 101. It's either the 101 all the way to PA.
Yeah.
Or any other way you got into the industry. You know, from playing drums, graphics, to
welding art pieces together.
There you go. So that could be you, and who knows. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Jonny. I appreciate it. You know, let's stay in contact. Absolutely. You know, that's what we do.
That's it.
Guys, I'll see you somewhere else, some other city with somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you.